there. Hi, hello, 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 hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? My name is Jettison. But as always, you can call me Jets. That's Jets. Jets. You're on my channel now, which means that you're in a quiet as we can manage, and a safe space. As the title says, we're just going to be kind of catching up with each other. You can tell me what you've been doing in the comments if you'd like, but I'm just going to kind of let y'all know what I've been up to for the past few days, weeks maybe. I ate some chocolate cookies before I started filming this, and I didn't even think about checking my teeth after that. So if you notice any chocolate in my teeth, just don't stare at it. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the last book that I read, which is this one. It's called The Book of the Unnamed Midwife, and it is by Meg Ellison. Also, I have a lot of energy right now, but I'm trying to be chill. So, this book won a Philip K. Dick Award for Distinguished Science Fiction. I don't really read a whole lot of science fiction, but I saw this recommended and I read the prologue and I was like, I'll try it. But it says surviving the apocalypse is only the beginning, so I'll read the little back summary so you can see if maybe you want to read it, and then I'll kind of talk about what I thought about it. But it says, in the wake of a fever that decimated the Earth's population, killing women and children and making childbirth deadly for the mother and infant. I'm sorry, this is not very relaxing, but we'll just continue. It says the midwife must pick her way through the bones of the world she once knew to find her place in this dangerous new one. Gone are the pillars of civilization, all that remains is power and the strong who possess it. A few women like her survived, though they are scarce. Even fewer are safe from the clans of men who, driven by fear, seek to control those remaining. To preserve her freedom, she dons men's clothing, goes by false names, and avoids as many people as possible. But as the world continues to grapple with its terrible circumstances, we shall discover a role greater than chasing a pale imitation of independence. After all, if humanity is to be reborn, someone must be its guide. Bit sticky. So, honestly, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5, I suppose. Because I did like the story. I did, and I think it was very realistic. The things that happen in this book, that's pretty much how I think it would actually go down. If, majority of women disappeared in the world and there were only like a good handful left for the men, that's what happens in here is pretty much what I expected. That said, I did not like the midwife, who is unnamed. She never has a name, her real name. She goes by different names. I did not really like her very much. Like, I enjoyed the other characters that she interacts with more. Like, there's a character named Roxanne, who's not even in the story for like a super long amount of time, but I was just like, I like this character way more. And Roxanne at the end is still my favorite. There was just something about her that like got me. So I would recommend reading it. Maybe look up some trigger warnings if you have some triggers that you might want to avoid. But overall, decent book. There's 2 other ones that come after this, and I think that might be it for the series. I may read those other 2 books. I'm not really in a rush to do that, but I liked it pretty well. This cover is really soft. Okay, so going along with my reading stylish journal, where I've been keeping track of the books that I've read for this year and what I thought of them, and I know I could easily do that on Goodreads or some other website similar to that, but I like writing stuff down, and I think I've said that in a video before. I just prefer having a pen in my hand and just writing stuff down. It's more, I guess, like, almost more intimate for me, like actually writing down my thoughts. This is also a soft cover. This is a beautiful green journal, by the way. I think I got this for Christmas last year. It's got this little bookmark. So I started out strong this year. In January, I think I read 8 books. And since then, I have slowed down quite a bit. But the reason for that is when I am participating in a hobby, I can only really do one at a time. And when I say that, what I mean is I am either writing, or I am reading, or I'm watching TV. Like, I cannot consume or participate in different hobbies at the same time. And it may just be a me problem, but if I am reading books, I'm reading a bunch of books. Like, you know, like I read one, go right immediately to the other one. I'm not really doing anything else hobby-wise. Like, I can read a book in a day. Like, I'll just sit down for a few hours and I'll be done with it, and then I'm ready to start the next one, you know? Whereas if I'm writing, I'm doing that all day and I'm not doing anything else that doesn't need to be done. But if I am currently watching a TV show, I am consuming all of it as much as I can, as quickly as I can. Because when I like something, I have to have all of it immediately. I have to know everything. I have to understand the different arcs and stuff like that. And currently, I'm obsessed with Dragon Ball. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. Because, like, before this, I was, like, obsessed with Attack on Titan. And I'm very new to anime. I did not start watching anime until, like, 2021. Just because it was never something I thought about. Like, I remember growing up and, like, you know how Cartoon Network would turn into Toonami at night. I just never watched it. Like, I would watch cartoons, or I would watch, like, Nickelodeon. Watched a lot of, like, 80s horror movies, 80s action movies, because that's what my father liked to watch. And I do remember growing up, my father watched Dragon Ball Z, because I remember the characters on TV. But the only thing I remember about Dragon Ball Z is how much Frieza freaked me out as a small child. And to this day, he's still very, very creepy to me. But my partner had downloaded one of the Dragon Ball Z games. I don't know what it was, on the PlayStation. And they were playing that for a while. I walked in one day into the living room, and just kind of like watch them play for a little bit. And it was like right at the part, it's right in the arc in Dragon Ball Z when Future Trunks comes in, because he's like, my world's been devastated by the androids, and here's this pill so Goku doesn't die from heart disease or whatever the hell it was that he had. And I was like, oh, Future Trunks is cute. Like, I like his lavender hair. And then I started watching my partner play the game, and I was like, okay, that was interesting, you know. Like, I know a little bit about Dragon Ball Z, but not a lot. And then, while after that, my partner started watching the newest, like, series release, which is Dragon Ball Super. And I didn't pay attention to any of it because they were just watching it on their own. And then I walked in one day, and it was right as the Goku Black arc was starting, which involves Future Trunks. And I was like, oh, Future Trunks is in this part, I'll watch it. I've ruined myself since then, because that started the hyperfixation, was the Goku Black arc. Because there is, when it comes to men, and the men that I typically gravitate towards, it's dumb men. Dumb men with a very kind heart. And what is Goku if not a dumb man with a very sincere, kind heart? And Goku Black Arc ruined me, because I was like, oh, I get Goku, but he's bad, you know? Like, he's a bad boy in this, and it's not Goku, but, you know, the guy that took on his form. And after that, I was like, you cannot watch this show without me. I watched all the way through the Tournament of Power and stuff like that, and I am at the point now where I'm about to start writing a fic. And I was like, oh man, I'm in deep now. I'm in deep. But if you follow me on Instagram, which my Instagram is just my name, how it is on YouTube, I don't post photos a lot, but I post a decent amount to my stories, and it's usually just something that I'm currently interested in. Like if you follow me right now, I'm just seeing a bunch of Dragon Ball Z stuff. But yeah, so I'm currently obsessed with that, so I haven't been doing a whole lot of reading. I might start doing some writing, because I was like, I gotta do some Dragon Ball Z fic. I started reading Dragon Ball Z fic too. I've only read one so far. Because like before I write a fic, I try to read a few from the fandom, like you know, ones that have like kudos or a bunch of hits or something. And because I want to see what the overall fandom kind of headcanons, I want to pick up vocabulary that people use for like characters and like stuff in the world. So it's like a form of research, while also like enjoying reading about the characters doing things that they normally wouldn't do. Yeah. So talking about my writing, let me close this. Talking about my writing, I have also, I made a goal for, I guess it was like a New Year's goal, but I wanted to submit, I had a burp, I wanted to submit my writings somewhere every month. Like at least one publication, some kind of online or literary journal. I wanted to submit like a poem. It's been mainly poems, I think, because my attention span is not great for longer mediums. The most I can do is short stories. I'm not really a novel person, because I focus more on characters than I do like world building, which is why I like fic so much, because I don't have to build the world. I can just concentrate on the characters, which is way more important to me. I much prefer writing dialogue and like character arcs than I do like overall world building. Like, I could not care less about what the room looks like that the characters are in. I want to know what they're saying how they feel, what's happening to them. I want more of the inner stuff than I care about, like, the carpet's green or the curtains are blue. Like, I could care less. But yeah, I've been submitting my writing to different online journals. Lots of rejections, but that's to be expected because that's just part of it. That's just part of being a writer. Your stuff's gonna get rejected way more than it's ever gonna be accepted. You're gonna have to have tough skin for that. But in the rejections, it's always very encouraging. They're like, look, it's not right for us, but we encourage you to, like, submit again at a different time, or, like, you know, just keep getting your work out there. Like, a lot of rejection notices are still very positive, so that's nice. But this is a little personal goal of mine that I set. I'm very proud of myself for sticking with it. I've already submitted one for this month, and maybe I'll just get one accepted, or maybe I won't get any accepted, but it's okay because I put myself out there. I'm gonna do a little bit of tapping on top of a candle lid, which is, if you've been on my channel this long, you probably know is my favorite at this point. I had to cut my nails today because I discovered that I had broken 2 of them. And I think I did that while I was peeling apples. Because I made an apple cobbler. And I had the peeler and it was, you know, having to do this. And I think I accidentally got a couple of my nails without realizing. So, if you're in the United States and you have student loans, you know that they're not being forgiven. And I believe we have to start repaying. Well, you don't have to if you don't want to. But they're going to start, you know, drawing interest again, I believe, in September. And then you're supposed to start paying again in October. So that's great. But if you didn't know that, and now you do know, I hope I didn't stress you out with that. Because I thought that we had to start paying back this month, and then I looked at it, and I discovered that. So as far as I know, I believe you have to start repaying in October, but I would double check that depending on who you got your loans from. Mine are directly from the government. And there's nothing worse than owing money to the government, because they're gonna get it from you any way they can. And I was really hoping that stuff was gonna get forgiven, because I think it'd free up a lot of stress for a lot of young people. But whatever, I guess. This is just so relaxing to me. Like, I could listen to a whole video of this. Even with my short nails, it still sounds pretty good. Wood Triggers was like one of the first ASMR videos I ever saw. It was just someone tapping on something wooden, and I don't know if that's why it's my favorite, or I don't know. It gets me. Moving on to the next little topic of conversation. I just recently did a tarot card reading for myself. I've had these tarot cards since I was in high school, which was like a million years ago. So they're a bit old, but still plenty usable. Just a little bit rough around the edges, but they're still really pretty. They are steampunk. That's what they look like on the back. You can see the sword, the pentacle, the wand, and the chalice or cup. But I really like steampunk aesthetic. And I saw these and bought them. This is the only tarot deck I've ever owned because you don't need more than one. Typically, unless you just like to collect them. But I did a recent tarot reading, and when it comes to tarot card readings, it's really to help me see what's going on in my own head, because you can interpret these cards honestly any way you want to. It's kind of like the zodiac, like the commercialized zodiac, where you can read what your horoscope is for the week or something. They're always very vague because they're supposed to apply to everyone, and the cards do have meanings, but I really think it's more up to your own interpretation, and that is my way when I do my tarot. It's my way of seeing, like, okay, where's my headspace at? Like, how am I interpreting these cards? Basically. So this time, I got, the first card I drew was Strength, which it is Leo season right now, and I am a Leo. So that could just be signifying that it's my season, full Leo season, so I'm in my era, I guess, right now. Since I am a Leo, because it's a woman petting a lion in that card. I'm just gonna show y'all some of them. The first card on top is Death. It's a woman riding a horse. This card hardly ever means actual physical death. It's just like an ending to something. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the first card I drew was Strength, which basically means strength. The Queen of Swords is my favorite in this deck. Look at how beautiful she is. Hold on. Look at that. Look at her. I love her. She's so beautiful. This beautiful dress, long black hair, and her sword in her hand. Like, I love a strong woman. And then the second card I drew was Six of Cups, which has to do with like happy memories. Sometimes it can represent children, childhood type stuff, just like a feel good time. She's so beautiful. And then next is the High Priestess. I wish there wasn't a glare on this, but the cards are kind of shiny. And then after the Six of Cups, I drew the Two of Wands. I always draw at least 3 cards, and then I'll go over it again to see if there is a card that wants to kind of like tie itself with the third card. It's just my own reading. Like, I didn't, there's no actual like reading that I follow. I throw 3 cards, and then maybe a fourth if a fourth one wants to come with the third one. So the third card that I drew was the Two of Wands. This is the Seven of Swords. And the Two of Wands is you're basically going to make a choice between 2 different decisions. You're going to be presented with 2 different things, and then you have to choose one. also drew the Knight of Cups. And the cups are tied to your emotions, like your cup overfloweth, you know. And that kind of told me that whatever decision I'm making, I'm going with the heart decision, because that's kind of what the knight represents. He's, you know, your emotions. And the knights are kind of like going out, you know, they're the go-getters. So, not really sure what I'm going to be deciding about, but whatever it is, I guess I'm going with my instincts, which can also be why strength was there. Ace of Pentacles. So, yeah. That's kind of how I interpreted my own reading. The Six of Cups might have been there to maybe remind me, like, what was a childhood dream that I had, or... But I think it's tied in with, or I thought I saw a bug. I think it's tied in with going with my instincts on whatever this decision is. And I've done a few different drawings. I kind of do one maybe once a month if I think about it. And the one I drew before this one was also like, there's a decision coming up. And I was like, okay. But that's my tarot cards. I can always have these in a video. I do not do tarot readings for other people though, because I'm just a little bit too personal. That's my tarot cards. And that's the Hermit. So I'm currently obsessed with 2 different songs right now, and I thought I would do some up-close whispering of the lyrics. Not the entire song, but just like a little snippet of it, this little snippet that gets stuck in my head, you know. So I'm currently obsessed with Poppy's song, Knockoff, and she says, I don't want no knock off. Want that real shit. Real authentic. I don't want no fake love. Want that real shit. Real authentic. So that song, I got obsessed with it because my brain latched onto it because I'm writing that Dragon Ball fic, which kind of focuses on Goku Black, and I was like, oh my god, like, you know, oh, he's kind of like a knockoff of Goku, and then my brain latched onto that, and I could not listen to anything else for like 6 hours. So that's kind of like a little earworm in my brain right now. But then I'm also obsessed with Slater's new song called Miss Belladonna. But she says, Miss Belladonna, I call him up whenever I wanna. Lipstick is red and my bag is Prada. He lives for love and I live for drama. Miss Belladonna. If you haven't heard either of those 2 songs, go listen to them right now because they're really good. And then last little bit of this video, it's just kind of, you know, me expressing my amazement of how far this channel has come, honestly, because I started it, I believe, either last October or last November. Not really sure. I think my first video didn't come out until November, but I like filmed it in October. But we're almost to 1,000 followers, which is crazy. It's been fun seeing the numbers go up. Fun connecting with my subscribers as well, you guys. And once I do get to 1,000 subscribers, there's a moth in here and it just scared me. Once I do get to 1,000 subscribers, I would like to do a little Q&A video where y'all ask me questions ahead of time, and then I will answer the ones that I would like to answer, that I feel comfortable answering. So I think that will be fun. Also, if you are still awake and you are new here, or you have never read my bio, I would also like to reiterate that I use they, them pronouns. I do not respond to she, her, he, him. I respond to they, them. So if you want to leave a comment where you are not speaking directly to me, but like you're saying something about me, just make sure that you're using they, them. Like, oh, I love their channel, you know? Like, that's all you gotta do. It's not that hard. We all took English class. We all know how to use pronouns. But I think that's gonna wrap up this video. And I just want to say thank y'all for being here with me. I'm glad that I can help y'all relax and fall asleep. Because I've been enjoying ASMR since I was in high school, and it's nice to make my own videos now, after consuming it for so long. But I will see y'all in the next video.